We got a lot to talk about on today's show, including, can you figure out whose swing is what? We're going to do that for you guys right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. So make sure you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let's get this thing started. Let's talk a little Cubs baseball today as free agency continues to roll on. Let's go. All right. Hey, great to talk to you guys today. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let me bring them on the screen here. Boom, there he is, Connor Nelson. You guys probably don't know Connor, but he's been behind the scenes this entire time. And now he makes his Cubs Baseball channel debut. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's talk a little bit of Cubs baseball today. Connor, good to see you, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mick. Thank you for having me on. And Cubs Baseball Channel fans, don't worry. We're going to give Mick a little bit of a test today, so I think you'll enjoy it.
Well, I love the idea. I don't know how I'm going to do because you've got these swings without like faces, right? So I got to figure out whose swing is what on the Cubs team. But what a World Series this year. Like, people have talked about this Game 7 and this World Series between Toronto and the Dodgers being one of the best of all times. I can't argue. Last night I was in bed and I was like going through my head and I'm like, are the Mariners the only team that hasn't been in the World Series in my lifetime? And I'm like, I think they are. Like, everybody else might not have won, but they were there. And then there's the Mariners losing Game 7 to the Blue Jays. And it's the first time that a team won the World Series. It took them everything they have to do it.
It was incredible. It makes me think of the best World Series I've seen in my lifetime. And everybody talks about the 2000, 2001, and a little bit before my lifetime. But for me, Mick, it brings me back to just what feels like recently the Cubs and the Guardians World Series, the history that was wrapped up in that, the stars that were involved, and the crazy ending. That's what it brought me back to. Watching that one on TV was pretty insane. And seeing that Game 7, 18 innings, it was all incredible. I'm still running off that adrenaline.
Yeah, it really was. Like, to think about the Dodgers winning the 18-inning game, right? And then who would have thought that the Blue Jays would have come back and taken the next two games at Dodger Stadium, right? And then you got to go back to Toronto. And I remember texting you. I'm like, hey, man, this is not over yet. Like, you know, it's two games. You know, the Dodgers have a great team. And to put a team out, right, as good as the Dodgers, you have to do everything right. And it just, I felt like Toronto had everything going in their direction, but it was kind of like the Cubs series because now I remember being at Game 3, we lost. Game 4, we lost. Game 5, we won. And then got to go back to Cleveland. And then there's Kyle Schwarber, who I'm hoping eventually comes back to the Cubs this year. You know, and then two epic games, including Game 7, which went extra innings with the rain delay and everything else. And so I'm guessing, like, just to think about World Series games, you know, 86 was epic, right? You had the Bill Buckner Game 6 where the ball went through his legs. If he fields the ball, the Red Sox win the World Series and the Mets come back and win it. You know, but to have a Game 7 that was just like that epic, man. I mean, I really feel like this year in the Cubs World Series, I mean, they're two of the best.
Yeah, I think Dave Roberts pushed all the right buttons because everyone's been saying the Toronto Blue Jays seemed like they were playing better baseball the whole time. And I still think the team who wins probably played better baseball, but Blue Jays, hats off to them. They played great. And the Dodgers relied upon their stars, and they even had a little bit of help from the contributing cast. So it was awesome to watch. And like you said, a little bit of everything. So,
well, it made it something that a lot of people around the world of baseball are talking about even now. And when you kind of stack it up there, like they're two classics, you know, to me personally, I mean, the Cubs World Series, I don't know that I'll ever have a better sports moment, right, than winning that. But just it's what the game's all about. I mean, I think that's why we love baseball, right? Like, because you go out there and you play those games, and one team's going to win, and to win it all, things have to the ball has to bounce your way.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at Game 4. The ball didn't bounce the Dodgers' way in that game. It was upsetting. I was holding out hope till the very end with my dad there. Shout out Pops for making that moment for us. And even though we didn't get to see the win, being able to say I got to be a part of that series, where it will rank in the history books, I'm not sure yet. I think we'll have to wait a little bit, but to be a part of it was pretty dang cool.
Yeah, for me, I got a World Series ring in 2016, so it's pretty high on the list of things that you get in life.
That's
I
right.
wore my ring the other day, and my finger was too big for it. So, man, I'm gonna have to send it back to get it resized. I don't know.
No.
I don't know what that means. Like, am I? I don't feel like I'm a bigger person, but maybe I'm just an older person, and my my appendages are getting bigger. But
Hey, if you had to have one thing stuck on your body for the rest of your life, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
yeah. Well, you come to my house, you got the which isn't in the studio, but there is a Cubs room in my house. So you come and visit, like it's a whole bunch of Cubs shit in there.
Yeah.
And you get to hang out in there. And one of the things you get to look at is a Cubs World Series. So hopefully the Cubs are back, as they try to build a team to get to the World Series again. They took a step forward this year, and we'll see what happens in this offseason in the direction that they go. We'll be following it here. But today's show is more about just the fun of trying to figure out who is who, right? So I know you got some stuff lined up for me. I hope I get at least one of these things right.
All right, yeah. Cubs baseball channel, get ready. We're about to play Guess That Swing.
Oh, boy.
All right, Mick. All right, we've got 4 main levels to this challenge and then 1 bonus round if we can get you there. I know you're a little bit skeptical of your ability here, but I think you've watched enough baseball that you're going to be able to come through. I'll help you if I need to. So the premise for the fans watching along, get in the comments. Let's see if you can get it faster than Mick. Make sure, we want to know when you're beating him for sure. So the swing is going to play 3 times, and you won't know who it is. I'll pause it. I'll give you a little bit of time. We don't have an official shot clock, but we'll feel it out, and I'll finally reveal the final character. So, Mick, are you ready for the first swing?
All right, let's do this. Everybody's going to hate me if I get this wrong. All right, so it's a left-handed hitter. Good, smooth swing. Left-handed guy. I feel like that's a Kyle Tucker swing. I mean, just the fact that it's so smooth, right through the ball. There's no hesitation at all. Head down, like everything that you're supposed to do is in that swing.
All right, is that your final answer?
I'm going to say Tucker on this one.
All right, that is round 1 complete. It's even an old swing. I tried to throw you off. That's Astros Kyle Tucker, but you still got it. I tried to throw a little bit of a curveball in there, but shout out to Batter Up, the site that we got these from. So, Mick, 1 for 1. Let's go ahead and move it on quickly to round 2 while you're still hot.
Yeah, like I'm hot. I look, the guy was amazing. So now we got a right-hander. Got the leg kick there. And who is that? Who with the leg kick? I feel like Matt Shaw. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know he was really working on the leg kick. There's a little hitch in there. I'm gonna say Matt Shaw. I don't know if I'm right, but
all right, Matt Shaw. Is that your final answer, man?
That's my answer. Yeah, let me go with that.
Unfortunately, you are now 1 for 2. That's going to be the switch hitter, Ian Happ. That one's also because it could have been either side of the plate, and you would have never known. But
yeah, it's a switch hitter. Yeah, I see that now. Now that you throw it out there. All right, so I'm 1 for 2.
All right, 1 for 2. Let's go ahead and get swing number 3 up here. And here we go.
Put him up. Okay, another right-hander. Oh yeah, that looks a lot like Seiya Suzuki. When the thing about the guys from Japan, I love the fact that they always keep their hands back, right? Like, and the way that their bodies move, it's like it's a technique that they teach in Japan
It's that
that
coil.
works. It is, yeah.
All right.
Am
So
I
is that your
right?
final answer?
That is, it is.
And that is Seiya Suzuki. Little home run off the
Yeah,
Brewers
yeah.
right
Look at him.
there. All right. Well,
Boom.
back
What
to
a
the winning.
great. And let me say this: what a great postseason for Seiya. Like he was kind of first half was great, second half struggled, but when the postseason came, the Brewers hated seeing him coming up.
Yep.
Just
Yep. He had one of the
mashing.
hottest bats.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
All
So
right, so I'm at least going to be 500. So let's see if I can get this last one.
there we go. All right. Hold on. Let me run that back. Here's the swing for level 4.
God, look at that. It's a right-hander. Off the bat, just jumping off the bat. Not a whole lot of movement on that swing. That thing is. Look at the way that he's swinging the bat. Let me think here. Right-handed hitter.
I'll run it back one more time.
Yeah, let me see it one more time. Man, that's a good swing. Not a whole lot of movement too in the body, like just kind of hanging in there.
Well, simple. Some people were on social media this season flipping this guy's swing, so he was hitting left-handed, and they were comparing him to Barry Bonds.
Like a right-handed Barry Bonds. All right, let me work the math here. So we know that it's not Ian Happ because we've already had him. It's not Pete Crow Armstrong. It's not Dansby. Maybe Nico didn't hit. Nico like put the ball in play, but he didn't go.
There's a lot of loft in that swing right there. It's
yeah,
quick.
right. That's a. I'm thinking like
this guy's not been a Chicago Cub for a very long time, and I feel like was probably a surprise for most fans this season to see him get as much playing time and play as well as he did.
Yeah, I'm looking at him and I'm going, I kind of feel like it could be a little Carson Kelly. I guess, like a Carson Kelly type swing. Had a great year. Carson Kelly, like I what a surprise he was. Carson Kelly. Look at that swing though.
It's a beautiful swing.
It is.
He hit well in Arizona. People just didn't know the name.
Yeah, right. Like I'm like thinking like you go around and you're like, yeah, it's got to be, because the Cubs have had, it's not Michael Bush, it's not PCA, who it is. It's got to be Carson Kelly. So yeah, 3 for 4. I'm not ashamed on that one.
Yeah.
The Happer, he's a switch hitting guy. Yeah, that was fun, man.
I think the comment section might get you with the Carson Kelly one. That one might have gone over the shot clock, so I think the comments will get a little feisty with that one. But
I was doing the math though. I'm like trying to like figure it out, right? Like it's not Reese McGuire,
no.
It's not Miguel Amaya. It's Carson Kelly, and I'm curious to know like what his future is going to be, right? But yeah, I mean, like I figured it out. It took me a second, but you start doing the math and you're like, okay, so it's not Dansby. It's not Nico. The thing about Nico is that Nico's like middle, kind of like middle away. Like he's not like a Deadpool guy. So that's kind of how I figured it out. So yeah, that's awesome.
Nico's a good comp. But all right, final round here, Mick.
Okay, one more.
This is not a Cub, but this is a guy you have stated Cubs baseball channel fans will know. You want this guy on the Cubs. You think you already know from the little sneak
Let me see him. Let me see him.
Here it is.
Let me see him. Yeah, look at that. A beautiful swing. Got the hips down, driving through the ball. Hitting it out. It's not Schwartz though, because Schwartz is left-handed. So we got to figure out like who is this guy that we could have. I'm guessing maybe it's a Bregman type guy here.
You're on the right track, but you're not quite there yet.
Not there. Look at that. Boom. Drive right through the ball and hit it out of the park. Who is this guy?
This is another guy who played in the AL this season. You actually just saw him on your TV not too long ago. I'll go ahead and let it play out, see if you can get it before it shows.
Oh, Dante. Is that a little Dante action?
Maybe the son of Dante, little Bo Bichette action.
Yeah, Bo Bichette.
There.
I got him. I know his dad.
There
Yeah.
we go. So,
I do like him. And lots of rumors that potentially the Cubs would have traded for him. They signed his teammate Vlad Jr. to a long-term contract, and I said, hey, let's. No offense to our current shortstop, but he brings a lot more pop to the bat than Dansby. I'm not sure anybody would want to pick up that contract, but yeah, Dante, I got you. Yeah, what a great season too. I mean, and he was clutch in the playoffs,
battling back from the injuries just to get out there. That 3-run bomb off of Ohtani. Mick, I went in the car for a little bit, started listening to the game on radio. Heard Boog call that. I was like, man, I shut it right off. I was like, I'm not going to listen to any more of the game until I get home. I'm done with this. I knew I shouldn't have left the spot. It was bad juju, but
right. Well,
still
for you,
an incredible series, and Bo really showed out. I think that really helped his value in the offseason too, because if he went in injured, not able to play, or if he had played poorly, might have reflected bad on the first number that he saw in free agency.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see kind of how this whole thing in free agency kind of pans out. Where is Bo gonna end up? The fact that the Blue Jays didn't re-sign him already, kind of puts it out there where, and the fact that we kept hearing that, over the years, like maybe the Cubs would be interested in getting him, although we already have a shortstop. The Blue Jays did give him a qualifying offer at $22 million, but he's not going to take that. And then you start to look at where he may end up. I think a lot of Cubs fans thought, well, you could get him and then put him at third base, maybe turn Matt Shaw into a Willie Castro type of guy because he's so versatile. But it's a lot of money too, on top of the fact that, hey, we don't want to pay for Tucker, for $400 million. Do you want to pay this guy for $400 million? And I guess that's kind of where I'm at with Kyle Schwarber. I'm like, you know what? Like you can get Schwarbs. It's not going to really affect the guys that you have in your system. I mean, maybe one guy, but you know what? You make deals when you add a guy that's a big bat in your lineup. Maybe somebody else wants him. You can trade too. So yeah, I was impressed with what he was able to do in those big spots during the postseason.
Yeah, Schwarber and Bichette are both guys in really advantageous positions when we get into this postseason, or free agency, because it's a thinned out class. Like no shortstops competing with Bo. DH or corner outfield, it's really just Kyle Schwarber. So those guys got some leverage.
Guys, I want to remind you too to hit AveD, hit that QR code. You can win this right here. This is our hat, and I like it. I just told Connor I'm sending in some gear, and you guys need some of this as well. If you want to buy a hat, they're not. We're not trying to price you out of a hat, but you can win one at AveD, and you can basically put down. I told them at AveD, I'm like, look, we need to have, on top of putting in what you think is going to happen in the NFL and college football with scores, hey, where's Kyle Schwarber going to end up? Maybe some other guys like Dante. But these hats are available. Get in there and be a part of what we're doing. Connor's going to also be the host of our new Down on the Farm show. So spent a year in the AA ranks of the Cubs. So he'll be able to talk about guys like Jackson Wiggins and Jefferson Rojas and some of the great players that the Cubs have coming up through the system. So you'll see more of him. But thank you, man. Great. Let's do it again soon. I'll have to pay closer attention to my swings. And you guys want to remind everyone, too, that as you plan your vacations, think about the Smoky Mountains and Sevierville, Tennessee, where a lot of people from the Chicagoland area, where most of you guys are hanging out right now watching, you go for vacation. You want to see the Christmas lights. You want to be part of, kind of like those old school Christmas type atmospheres. They got you covered. Plus, where else can you go that bears and fish talk?
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.